think we're live.
Oh.
I think. There's headphones if you want headphones, by the way.
Sick.
I used to be against the whole headphone thing because I felt like it made the conversation really stale or something, but then it's like nice to hear yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell how loud you're being. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Sup, everybody? I'm going to log on to this shit, so if you guys have anything to say, I can see it.
Oh, wow, we can say shit.
So, what do you mean say shit?
Well, every time, like, we do, like, a college radio thing, we have to put a Post-it note that says no cussing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
this
just
is the
got
internet, baby.
so accustomed to it.
Say whatever the fuck you want.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that radio thing. I can't believe that's still a thing, even. You have to be a sense. I mean, whatever. I guess it makes sense, but.
They got to charge those fines, make that money somehow.
I know, right?
Cops.
So, okay. You're here. We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
What's, you're telling me about your 100th show?
100.
100 show. Is that of all time or this year or what? Just so I could know.
Right? Well, it's of all time, but like this project.
Got it. Okay.
So, and we were up to something like 50 in the spring, 40 or 50. And I was like, you know what? Let's double down. Let's double down on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. It's
I
a
know.
lot of shows.
I know.
And where's the 100th show happening?
It's at House of Machines. That's where we had the Lollipop Hullabaloo Fest this summer.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's one of the coolest venues right now.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Right?
I love that spot.
Yeah. And Cheap Tissue just played there
Yeah.
last week.
I feel like
Right?
I feel like it's coming up. I don't know. I feel like it should be known as a pretty serious venue in Los Angeles. I think it's great.
Same. Yeah. Great sound system.
Yeah. Easy to work with. There's food. It's easy
There's
to
food,
get
there's
to.
drinks.
The sound is good.
Yeah.
The stage is good.
Stage is so good.
It's like, I love it.
Yeah.
I like that you can go in or out. Sometimes too on the big
Right.
stage if you want to be in show vibe or if you want to just go outside or drink something.
Right.
Sometimes like when I'm at the Echo and I'm watching a show, it's you're either like in there or you fucking have to leave. You know what I mean? There's no
Right. Don't they have
gray
no
zone.
ins and outs situation too?
No ins and outs. And the smoking section's cool, but you don't even feel like you're, at a show. In the
Man,
smoking section.
and like if you don't smoke, it is cool, but it's like a hot box out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like you're either getting hot box like inside or by sound or hot box outside by smoke.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you? I like we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
But I don't know like anything about much of your backstory. Like how, like why you even play music? What got you into it?
Why even, right?
Like what was that initial spark? Was it like a
Well,
record? What did you see someone play?
That's
Was it
my favorite question. Well, rock music or
in
like
general?
music
Just
in general?
in general. Like what was the little spark in your creative brain that was like, oh, I gotta fucking do this?
Well, honestly, I was really young, and I didn't even realize until like recently how like potent that was. I was like 7 or I was like 8, and like my bird died.
That's tragic.
So yeah, it was fucked up.
That's tragic.
Yeah, it was so fucked up, and I had been taking piano lessons for a few years at that point, so I just started writing a song about my dead bird. Like how fucking emo is that?
It's emo, but that's it's beautiful too.
Yeah, and like and then that just like started up with rock music in junior high.
Yeah.
It was like Ace of Base tapes and Madonna tapes and Michael Jackson tapes when I was a kid, and then Alanis Morissette, and then in junior high it turned into like alternative, like Garbage, No Doubt.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then I grew up here, so I just started going to shows. I started sneaking out.
We're so
and
lucky.
Going to shows. I know.
This is like, I know. There's
Yeah.
just so much happening, especially when you're young. Oh, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just started going to shows, and then I ended up coming into my first guitar when I was 15, and I had been playing piano my whole life, like a good little Armenian girl. My parents wanted me to like learn like Armenian, like, you know, standards and just all the standards and classical training and all that stuff, which, you know, I love. I love that I have that background, but, you know, once I got a guitar, it was like all out the window. I was like, fuck this, I'm playing punk rock. And so,
so funny.
And so it was just really, you know, getting to see bands like Garbage and getting to like experience punk music and like X, like, and just having access to that world and living here and just wanting to have a different kind, like my own kind of expression. Yeah.
Makes total sense. It's awesome. I guess it's like a weird, I don't know. What age were you when you started getting into, I'll say quote unquote, alternative music? Because I feel like that's such a primitive part of a musician's life. When you go from playing piano, trying to impress your parents, into like, you know, the void or whatever you want to call it, like the alternative music world.
The void. I
don't know what that is,
it.
but I felt like I felt guilty, you know, when I started getting into punk music and stuff.
Really?
Like, this is bad.
Bad
know?
boy.
But that's what also what like made me love it so much.
I love it.
You know, I didn't know if that was the same with you, or I know everyone's gets into a different. Sometimes people's parents they get them into the punk and stuff. For me, it was.
You too. Okay, so for you too, it was like rebellious for you too. Yeah, for me it was like
sense,
I wasn't allowed to watch Buffy, and then I snuck it anyway and watched it anyway, and I would see all the bands playing at the Bronze, and be like really attracted to that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Were you super into Buffy because you couldn't watch it?
Yeah, totally. And then I guess I don't remember how old I was, but I heard Nirvana on like some like odd like alternative MTV spinoff or MTV2 channel or something like that. And I didn't even know it was like a radio channel. I didn't even know who Nirvana was. And I called my boyfriend and was like, hey, like who's this band? And I just like held the phone up to the speaker, and he was like, girl, that's Nirvana. You don't know who Nirvana is? I wasn't the right age, you know, like I hadn't had access to them yet. So it's funny, like I heard Garbage before I ever heard Nirvana, and I heard like all this like trip hop stuff through the Buffy soundtrack, or like watching Buffy and the bands at the Bronze before I ever like knew what like punk was. And then I was lucky enough to live in the city and like actually like go to Lydia Lunch's readings and Exene Cervenka's readings and like actually go and see X when I was like pretty young, like pretty like a couple of years after that. I feel like I was able to like go into that world, which you know probably helped me feel like I could take steps to like, you know, get a guitar.
Yeah, of course.
You know, all that
stuff. Was the gateway right there. That's crazy.
Buffy was my gateway drug.
That's so fucking awesome. I think it probably was for a lot of people.
Right?
I would think. And maybe not musically, but in some capacity, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that whole era of shows was kind of like that.
It was so good.
So good. I think there's still, I don't know if there's much TV like that anymore. Things are just different now.
I know. We have the like 1-2 season like Netflix situation and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But then also it's kind of, I don't know, I miss those super long running Friends type shows where it's just like SNL, I guess, still like that. It's been around forever.
That's true.
You kind of can expect it to show up, you know? I don't know. I just miss the consistency, the super consistent. It's like that. It's like an old friend, you know?
Well, maybe the podcast can be like that.
Maybe.
Let's make
We'll
8,000 episodes.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping this live thing's working, but you know, I don't know. We'll see. So you grew up in Los Angeles, like in the city, or did you grow up?
Burbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the valley?
Yeah. So it was Burbank, literal burb. Burb. And
I like that. Literally burb. You grew up in the burb.
Literal burb.
Yeah. I love it.
And so it was Burbank, and then Glendale, and then Chatsworth.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're a true Angelino.
Yeah, and you know it's so funny. It's so close to, like it's far when you're young. It feels far, but you're like right here.
Yeah.
You know, you're a quick drive away. Like,
Super close.
sneak out of the house, get
Oh yeah.
the keys. You're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glendale, especially. Glendale is deceivingly close
Oh,
to
Glendale.
Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Deceivingly,
Glendale.
like it's like, wow, I'm only 2 miles away from this place or 4 miles from that place. Holy shit.
Seriously, like especially like the old Lollipop records too. Like you could literally
Yeah.
take Glendale
Yeah.
straight into.
Oh yeah.
Straight into. How long has it been?
Since we were in that spot?
Yeah.
Geez. I think we moved out of there 3 years ago.
Okay. I remember we played it
2017, so almost 3 years.
3 years.
Oh, it's been like 2 and change.
We played a show in there, dude.
I know, I remember. This is tight quarters. Super tight quarters. It's like almost, is it work? Like, can this work? I don't know.
Dude,
Fuck it, let's try.
I remember we played a show in there, and I was like looking for somewhere to like store my guitar case or
It's
something.
probably nowhere.
And I opened a door, right? I opened a door, and then I saw you in this like tiny room,
Yeah.
which was the recording room.
Yeah.
You were like, "Oh hey, yeah, I'm just wrapping up a session," and I was like, "This
Yeah.
is fucking dope," but also
So-
holy shit.
Yeah, it's
Compared to this,
yeah, that place was tiny, which
Yeah.
I loved. I loved it, but it was also that kind of thing where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna store this little thing there. There's no room for everything had its place. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, that place was wild. I remember the shows. Did you play in there when the walls were white or when they were yellow? Do you remember?
Oh my god, good question. Probably white.
Yeah.
We played
It was
with
better
Gal
when-
Pal.
Oh yeah, it was when it was white.
White. Okay.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that show. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was better. We had doing some before. We had like a different setup where it was yellow in there, and that was
Oh.
just so fucked. It was it was insane. I think there's a video of a guy getting lifted in his wheelchair
Oh my god.
into the room. Like people were like putting him on their shoulders, and it was crazy. But
Wait, where's Lilu?
right here,
Oh,
just hanging.
cool. Lilu the pup is here. For
Lilu.
anyone who's watching.
Why Lilu? What's the significance of the name?
The Fifth Element.
What's the fifth element? I don't.
Hi.
There she is.
There she is. The Fifth Element. Have you seen the movie?
No.
The Fifth Element.
Uh-uh.
Dude, we gotta watch it. We gotta do Lollipop movie night.
Is it so? I'm guessing it's sci-fi-ish.
Yeah. How'd you know?
Just the name, the
Oh,
title.
Okay. It's Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich, Chris Tucker, and they're like out in the future. Like taxi cabs can fly.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When was it? When was the movie made?
Oh man, 98?
Okay.
96?
Interesting.
I looked
So
it
they
up.
were
Yeah.
thinking like way in the future.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to see that. I wonder if it's on Netflix.
It
Was it
when
like a
I
classic?
Last watched it. Yeah, total sci-fi classic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so there's a character named Lilu or something. I'm guessing. Okay.
Yeah, protagonist.
Cool. That
You
makes sense.
probably know it's like she has orange short hair, and you like probably see a lot of costumes around Halloween. She has like white band-aid bondage bodysuit situation.
I feel like I should know. I feel like I can picture it in my head, but I wouldn't know who that character is. Yeah. There's some movies I just like people. I don't know. Never fucking seen it. You know. It was like I've never seen Titanic.
What?
Yeah, never. People make Titanic references. I've never seen it.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to do a double
Yeah,
feature. But
it's-
Titanic is super long, so that would be
Yeah.
a triple feature.
Are you inspired by film stuff? Like, does that shit kind of like soak into your creative process?
You know, I never thought it did, but I guess it does. I guess it really does.
I feel like it does, just from the little bit we've talked.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, now that you're saying Titanic and like I'm thinking of Leo DiCaprio, I'm thinking of the 1996 Romeo and Juliet movie, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely am inspired by because we just did a cover of Garbage Number One Crush for Halloween, which was like super like inspired by the movie. And that soundtrack was also probably one of the formative ways I got into alternative music too, aside from Buffy.
Cool.
Yeah, and we did a really fun, like, my friend Evangeline, who did the Slime video here for the Soul Songs album trailer, she made this like really fun like fan video for the Number One Crush song based off of like old clips from the movie. And
Nice.
yeah, so we,
That's badass.
we have fun with it.
That's badass.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's, I never really thought of, that makes sense. Being inspired, like film and music are sort of, especially nowadays, are symbiotic in some degree.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think, you know what it was for me? Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack.
Oh my God,
N64.
Those soundtracks were so like
Yeah, I think
stacked.
that's what got me into punk music.
Really?
Yeah, because it had like Bad Brains, and they had an Los Angeles, the X song was on there.
Yes.
All sorts of fucking awesome shit.
Oh my God, hell yeah. I remember my brother would play that stuff all the time, and I'd be like, what is this dope ass music? And
Thank Tony Hawk.
Seriously. I would try to get him to listen to punk all the time, and he just wouldn't fucking do it. And then once he started watching or playing
video games.
Tony Hawk. Yeah.
That's such a like intrinsic way of getting into music when you're a kid, because you don't even think about it. You're just in the zone, and this music is speaking to you, and
yeah,
it's crazy. Film, same thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Okay, so you also teach yoga.
Oh my gosh, I haven't in so long.
You haven't in a long time.
No.
Okay. I didn't know that till like years after I met you that you did that.
Well, it's okay. So it's like this hilarious thing I was just talking about with a friend of mine too, because like living in LA and like building out this artistic life, right? Like building out all these things you're interested in. I feel like you meet all these cool people who see different versions of you based on what you're doing more of at a certain time. So there's some people who only know me through me being their yoga teacher.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know?
Interesting. Yeah.
And I feel like you and I only for a while knew each other through doing like Lollipop Records stuff. Yeah. But I think there was like a few years there where like between my first band Tulips and this band, and then I think you were probably living in Arizona at the time, I just like started up a yoga thing. And I would teach like punk rock yoga at venues throughout LA. Like I taught a bootleg for like 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bootleg theater?
Bootleg theater.
Where did you do in this, like, did you do it on the stage or just like
Dude, honestly, where didn't I do it? Like, it all depended on what was going on at the time, because it was such a compound. There were so many rooms, right? Like, so there was like the theater room, there was like the side stage, the bar stage. So if there had been a huge theater production the night before and there were like a lot of things in the way, we would do the bar stage. If there had been 2 really big things going on that week, we would do the other room. And like there were some weeks where there was so much construction going on. Like there was 1 week where we went down into the dressing room and did yoga in the fucking dressing room. Yeah, it was this really fun modular punk thing. And like this was, you know, sometimes I don't know how people in the city like let me do what I want to do. Like they were like, yeah, do it. And like
awesome.
People like showed up and we did it. And like I called you and I was like, hey, I'm gonna play 100 shows. Like, is that cool? You were like, yeah, do it. Do whatever you want. You're a Lollipop artist. Do whatever you want. Like, like I don't know how I get away with these things, but I'm really like grateful that like people trust me.
Yeah.
Because I care about like what I'm making every time. It's just sometimes it comes out.
I think that's why people trust you, because I think you care. It's apparent that you are a caring person. You care what you do and what, you know.
Thank you.
You know, it's great. It's like way better to be that way than to not give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And like sometimes it looks like you know, it's like, okay, we're doing yoga in a dressing room. Like that's cool with everyone. And everyone was like, yeah, we're all doing this together.
I think that's the beauty of yoga. I've never done yoga, but I'm guessing you could do it anywhere, right? You don't need it's outdoors, indoors, you know, wherever. You don't need electricity or anything. It's completely.
Dude, I never even thought of that. You're absolutely right.
Right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess technically it's probably more interesting to do it in, a dressing room or some weird place.
Yeah.
It makes you more comfortable in that, spot you're in.
Totally. That's such a good metaphor too for like, expressing yourself or taking care of yourself. Like you don't really need that much to like tune in
Yeah.
or like make a song, which you always remind me about. Like, hey, like you could just kind of like your approach to recording, which is like really like fascinating to me. It's like, oh, like you could just lay it down, like lay down what you got, and then you're cooking. You're cooking metaphors.
Yeah. Just love food.
Yeah.
Food and music to me are like the same thing. It's just auditory food.
Yeah.
Where it's like food's just food.
Yeah.
Music is just, instead of putting it in your mouth, you're just putting it right here. But yeah, I don't know. It's fucking, these programs, you can do like thousands of tracks
Yeah.
that won't get deleted or won't get rusty and fucked up in time, like old tapes. You had to do it like, the tape would get old. I mean, the tape would get worn out and you have to do it like right then and there, and you were limited to however many tracks your machine would allow you to.
Yeah.
24 is the biggest
Right.
any tape machine has been. So it's like 24. You think about modern production, you need more than 24 tracks for a lot of modern music that's being made. So
For sure.
why not take advantage of the unlimitedness of what we have? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's only like 60 years ago that would never happen. You'd never be able to do that.
That's mind blowing to me, especially since like music is so much more esoteric than food. It's like it's so cool to work with you because you find a way to make the intangible really tangible. And I don't know, just making stuff feels like so much more rad with Lollipop around. I mean,
Thanks.
look at this
I
place.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I don't know. That's our mission,
Yeah. Follow your heart.
Exactly. Just, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Recording's that simple to me. It's like people complicate it too much. It's like you can record something, and if you don't like it, guess what? You just press the delete button. It's that simple. It's not there forever.
Dude, that's huge. Especially since like this new record, like I mean, when we met up a few months ago, I was like, dude, I have half of it. And you were like, okay. And I was like, well, I'm going to go write the other half. And you were like, why? Like we can build it here. And that's the first time I've ever conceptualized creating music that way. Like it's never felt like, just like making a demo or just like knocking something out is one thing, but for some reason, like I take it so seriously when
that.
it's a record, and I'm just like, oh, like I have to have, and like especially with my band too, we take pre-production like so seriously. And you were like, yeah, but you could just hash some things out, and we could like get it down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
is-
It's just
Yeah, it's huge.
It's one option.
Yeah,
I think, I don't know. I just try and like, when I, like, for instance, like I'm a fan of your music, I would be more interested in hearing something that was less thoroughly thought through, and
Yeah.
like just raw, and like, this is me. I made this song the other day. Check it out.
yeah,
I think in our era that we live in now, I think that's how music should be made. I think that's how it always should have been made. But there was why we take it so seriously is we grew up in an era where you had to take the time to get everything straight, everything figured out, because you had the label paying for the studio, and then the studio had X amount. You had to be there 8 hours, and you had a clock going, and there's like none of that really.
totally.
You could take a whole year on one song if you wanted to. You can do the pre-production. That could be the recording.
Oh my
It's
God,
like,
totally.
and I feel like the fact that artists can do that,
Yeah.
the people that want to listen to it, they want to hear that shit.
Right. No, totally.
like-
You're like 100% right. And I think a lot of digital based artists were probably already going there, like before, possibly like me and my old like punk brain of just like, everything has to be like super like performed. We're going to have 3 drummers. We're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you actually inspired me, and like working with you inspired me to stop actively writing this next record, because I was like, well, like you've created this space for us to experiment and like literally make it here. So I have like huge like there's a track list, but there's like songs that aren't written yet, which is like huge, a huge exercise in like mystery and like letting go, which is like so.
But doesn't that fucking just get like that?
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I fucking love it. Bring it on.
I love that shit. That's
Bring
like
it
what
on.
gets me up in the fucking morning.
Yo.
You know, it's just like, I don't know. I have that one thing, but I don't know where it's going to go. What if it turns out really good? Or what if it just totally is shit? Well, I won't know unless I try, try. And then
Fearless, bro.
the reward of the feeling of you get when you have this unfinished thing and you finish it and it feels right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no word to describe that feeling. And then you're proud of it. You're like, I want the world to hear this shit. 'Cause this just came out of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how, at least
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm here for it. Lilu's here for it. She's wagging her tail.
She's so fucking cute.
Oh. Yeah.
Does she like other dogs?
Yeah.
She's cool.
Yeah. I think she likes humans better.
Got it.
I think she sees them as like big dogs.
Yeah. I think that's what pets think of us. I think we're just like cats and dogs think we're other cats and dogs. Just
I think you're right.
we just look different than all the other ones.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So you got back. How was your tour?
Oh, it was
I mean,
cool.
I know we briefly talked about it, but I mean, was it one of those tours where you got back and you're like, oh my God, I'm never doing that again? Or was it like, I got to do this more?
It was like, it was so funny because we did 2 tours in the summer and they were kind of related to each other, but there was a weird gap in between. And it was one of those things where we got back from the first one, which was like a shorter stint. And we were like, we can't wait. We can't wait to go back. And then we were able to just kind of like get grounded for a month, or I don't know, I think it was like 5 weeks. We came back, played the Lollipop Records Fest, had my birthday, and then just went back. And it was weird. It wasn't very conventional, but that's just kind of how it worked out with like all these like really amazing bands we got to support. We were like, yeah, of course we're going to go back out and like play with these awesome bands. Like, and then when we got back, we were like, oh, like we want to do this for real. Like, and more of it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like an option before.
Got it.
We just didn't really have the infrastructure for it. And when we got back, we were like, oh, holy shit. Like, this is our jam. Like, we were actually kind of built for this, and we have like really good communication. And
That's
like,
important.
yeah. And we were like, yeah, we could totally do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Miles too. Miles and I were in Tulips, and we toured together in Tulips for a while, and so it's just like so dope that we're like, yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I guess some people. That's good that was your experience, because sometimes it's the opposite. We're like, oh, I can never do this again. That was fucking crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've definitely.
But I mean, I guess it's like you're moving in the right direction with the band and everything. If it's a good thing, you get home and you're like, let's go again. You know.
That's exactly. Yeah. I mean, like anytime I feel like it's that same sentiment where if it's not working, it means like you're not working.
Yeah.
Something with you is not working, or something with your band isn't working. And I've realized that like anytime I hit a spot like that, and it's not even about touring, it could be about anything creatively. Like anytime I hit a snag like that, I'm just like, oh, there's something I'm not looking at here, or like there's something that doesn't work for the collective, or doesn't work for me. And if that's gonna be something that leads me to making shitty art, like I don't want to continue down that path. Like I just want to stop and be like, okay, like what's going on? Because if I'm going to be making shit art, I'm going to feel like shit, because art is how I'm like coping with this whole like life thing.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
that's how I'm navigating everything. So anytime I've definitely had like weird experiences where I've been like, oh shit, not doing that again.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to have those, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I don't know about you, but I used to really, my whole like identity was my music.
Yeah.
And I feel like it worked for like X amount of years, and then I came crashing down really hard.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's the same with you, or I don't know. I don't know if you like. Do you identify solely with like your music and your art, or is it just a piece of the bigger puzzle that is Taleen Kali? You know, is it just a piece of the big? You know, is it like is it the finger of the hand and the body of the art?
It's the piece
I don't know.
of
For
the
me,
pie.
it was everything. It was like it was everything, and it totally. I'm trying not to view it that way anymore.
Same. Yeah, because I mean, I used to view it that way, and it like hijacked my life. I felt like that's how like shit got hijacked. Like, and I like you just talked about like how you felt Bernie, like you burned out.
Yeah.
Like I definitely burned out. Like anytime like that's happened, and not just with music, like with any art form. I feel like anytime I've like identified a lot with it to the point where like I felt like I needed it to look a certain way, that's already like clinging, and that's fuckery. Like that's like you're making shitty work. Yeah, that's definitely happened. Like it was definitely like that with Tulips for sure.
Got it.
And it like led me to like overplaying a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I would overplay.
Yeah.
Like I remember we did like 2 shows in a day once, and then like a festival the next day or something.
Dang. Yes, you were just constant.
And then and that's different from touring. Like it was just like I don't know. Plus we weren't really prepping for it. Like and that I burned out real quick. Yeah.
That'll happen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm always curious to hear my friends' stories because it happens a lot. I mean, that's the bad, negative side of. There's a lot of bads to being an artist, I think.
Yeah.
That's one of them, I guess, for musicians. Just friends of friends and going through it myself. Burning out is really easy to do.
Totally. And I'm not saying that I don't play 2 shows in a day and then a festival now, because I definitely as I was saying it, I was like thinking about how I was treating it back then versus how I'm treating it now. And that's like the answer. The answer is like, I think I just have like more tools now to not burn out.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm going to be doing something like that, I'm going to be approaching it not in this way of like clinging to the outcome and then like, oh, we're going to like, just like, play these 2 shows in a row to rock and roll and party. Like, it's more intentional now. It's like, oh, this is like part of how I want to express myself. How do I do it safely? Like, how do I like also like, like how's everyone vibing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like you have to burn out in order to know in order to not burn out again.
Right.
It's like a weird thing.
Right.
It's weird. So it's like the same with suffering. You have to suffer in order to recover. Recovery doesn't exist without suffering to some degree, right? In any fashion. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's a weird one. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Lilu agrees. No, you're right, because if you don't go to your edge, you don't know what you're made up of. No?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like what
like
you
how
need.
do you know? How do you know when you're burning out or when you're anything extreme, when you're sad, when you're happy? How do you know if you don't ever push it as close to the fucking edge, and you'll never know.
How do you know if you've had too many cookies, Wyatt?
I know when I don't even taste them anymore.
Oh,
and
damn.
That's when I'm like, oh God, I don't even taste this shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I thought of you today. I was on Twitter and I was like bored and I tweeted cosmic cookies and I thought of you because I was gonna see you today. I was like, Wyatt loves cookies.
I do. I've been 2 weeks without cookies.
Dude, what?
Raw, totally just stopped. I have little bits of chocolate because I'm like, it's bad. I don't taste them anymore. It's like serious. I don't taste them. Like they're in my mouth and I chew them and I swallow them and no taste. But my body, I just is like, give it to me. Mm-hmm. It's bad.
That was me and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You're like so right. When you don't taste them anymore, that's when you know it's like you're not even there for the cookie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're just there for, you know, that there's something there that's filling some sort of void that you don't know how to fill.
Right.
And you're just, yeah, it's bad.
Have
It's
you
really
ever?
bad. Cigarettes is like, it's the same. Cigarettes actually, yeah, it's like this sugar
Yeah.
and nicotine and I don't know what, it just like hooks you in. Mm-hmm. So good. Man, cigarettes is really hard to quit.
Yeah.
Really hard. Do you smoke? I forget if you smoke or not.
I smoked for 14 years and I quit after Tulips.
Did you
And-
quit just totally raw or did you taper? How did
Well,
you do
I
it?
tried to quit and then like we kept going on tour. So
Yeah, you gotta smoke when you're on
Miles
tour.
and Angie would light up and I'd be like, oh, okay, let's go.
Of course, of course.
And then after Tulips broke up, I like was able to quit and like stay not quit. And then Miles joined up Taleen Kali, and I was just like, dude, don't smoke in my car. Just don't smoke in my car. And you know, it's been fine. I think once I quit, not just like, oh, I'm quitting and then going on tour, quitting and then going on tour. Like once I made that decision and I did it, I never went back. Not once.
Is there any time you're like walking by a group of people smoking and you just get that smell and those neurons start to come back up and you're like, oh, I want it?
No.
You don't feel that way?
No. It was like that before, but when I actually when I stopped quote unquote trying to quit and when I was just like ready to do it, like, and no one can make you ready. Like you can't even make yourself ready.
Yeah.
Like, and that goes with like leaving anything or, you know, like changing anything. Like if I feel like I'm ready, then I'm ready, right?
Yeah.
So once that readiness came, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, so when I smell it, I don't want it.
Wow, you got the strength.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like when my dad quit smoking, he used to carry a pack of cigarettes around in his front pocket.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He was like, that's how I know, like, my conviction is so
That makes sense. Yeah.
strong. And I was like, you're a fucking masochist. Like,
That's crazy.
like, holy shit.
That's ballsy for sure. I mean,
Isn't that
there's a lot of
cool?
people I've known that would just put a cigarette in their mouth and not light it.
Whoa.
And just walk around with a cigarette in their mouth and then, like, you know, twirl it around their fingers, but not smoke it. And that was their way of, you know, really getting past, you know, the addiction.
That's so intense.
Which is, that's intense. I would just
even
cave.
like,
I would cave so
that's
quick.
out of the pocket, out of the pack, and into the hand.
Like in your, you know, it's like all you need at that point is just a little, and you're.
And you're there.
Yeah, but
you don't need it.
I guess not. Yeah, more power to you if that's how you're doing it.
Would you ever walk around with a cookie in your pocket?
Fuck, I'd eat that shit in a heartbeat. I can't even have him in the kitchen. I told all my friends, don't have him anything around me. Don't talk about sugar. Don't mention anything about sugar.
Yeah.
Don't fucking.
Oh shit! And here I go asking you
No,
about
it's all good.
fucking cookie. I'm such a dick.
It's all good. You didn't know. It's all good.
All right.
And I've been good. I've been 2 weeks. I caved. I relapsed once where I
Okay.
had a whole box and just fucking felt so good.
I'm proud of you.
And then, but no, it's
Relapse is part of it. It's all
guess.
part of the process.
I don't know. Do you have anything like that now? Like, are you in like what's your I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but what's your vice, or do you have a vice?
Ooh.
Is it rewatching Buffy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's rewatching Buffy. No,
Like everyone's got a vice. Everyone's got something that they fall back on that feels good. Yoga, that'd be a good vice.
Oh, no, that's my virtue. A virtuous.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, just pleasure, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
What is it about yoga that does it for you? Like what made you, you know, like what is it? Same question I had with music. Like what feeling do you get from doing it? What's the benefits?
Yes, the best question.
Why do you recommend it to people?
Why do I recommend it? Well, there's so many ways to connect with ourselves, right? Like our true selves, like our breath, our like who we are, as opposed to all the shit that gets piled up on us throughout the day, like anxiety or like cultural stuff, societal stuff, And like yoga is like my way of finding like connection with my own breath and my own body in a really similar way that music does.
Got it.
Yeah. And so like when you're singing, you're taking really deep breaths, or, you know, playing music, like you're in your instrument, you're like using your body and moving your body in order to like help get your mind in a place where you feel like you're kind of connected with your true nature in a way, rather than attachments, vices, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that like doing yoga and having that parallel, because I have burned out on music before, and sometimes music felt like too much activity like for me to go into safely, like yoga would be a way for me to like access that,
the other
like,
side.
Yeah. And like, not that music has a negative connotation, not that playing music is like ever harmful. It's just sometimes I'd like pick up a fucking guitar and think I was like on tour and like thrash out a song, and it wouldn't feel
I mean,
like
too much of anything is not healthy, right?
Yeah. And then also like sometimes you gotta have the silence in order to hear your next record, or hear that next like hear just that next inspiration. Like you can't always be doing, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes music can feel like, or the pressure to create can feel like it's imminent. And I think yoga just helps like anchor me to like, okay, like it's okay to be just breathing. My friend Yumi Sakagawa has this beautiful quote and illustration that says, sometimes it's okay if the only thing you did today was just breathe. And that's,
I love that.
Yeah. It's like, hey, like we're actually enough, even if we're not, you know, or are making or doing anything. Like it's like a nice state. It's like a state of being.
Yeah. That's the best. I mean, that's living.
Yeah.
Right? That's just living, being alive.
Totally.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that quote. I'm gonna try and keep that stored in my mantra closet.
Yeah. Anytime you want a cookie, listen.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never done yoga. I've never tried. Ever.
Let's do lollipop yoga.
I'd love to. And
Let's do it.
So I know so many people that do yoga and swear by it, and it's just like part of their life. And I don't know. I just never. I don't know why I feel embarrassed to go do yoga. I don't know why I like to just stretch in front of people and be all physically vulnerable.
Well, okay, how about this? Remember the last time I was in here, I brought in all those singing bowls?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was technically like a meditation, and you were like sampling them.
Yeah.
And remember, you were like, whoa.
I felt like I was on drugs. Like that took me to a different level.
That was like a deep hyper meditation. So yoga would be that, but while you're moving, right?
So, yeah, and explain. Wait, what do you call that? The bowl? What is there like a name for that kind of thing?
Yeah,
what
sound healing.
Sound healing. Okay.
Sound bath or sound healing. Yeah,
that was incredible.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe we sampled a bunch of bowls in the studio. I forgot we did.
Crazy.
Yeah, I forgot we did that. That was cool. Whoa, Lilu. She wants some sound healing.
Yeah. Have you ever done that with her in the room? Like, does she feel like, does she even get, tripped up? Not tripped up. That's the wrong word. In a Zen state.
Yeah, she loves it.
Man, I don't know what.
She loves it, but I can't tell because, like, sometimes there'll be drums in the next room, and like, there's been a time or two she's like run into the room and been like, "This is cool."
Yeah, interesting.
So I can't really tell.
Yeah, I would. Are there places you can go and get what is? I'm trying to think. Yoga, you go and do yoga. If I wanted to have a sound bath, what is that called? Like, is there places
You'd go to so you could go to a yoga studio that does sound, like incorporates sound into the class, or you could go to there's this really cool place where I learned how to do this called the Sound Bath Center in Eagle Rock, and they have one like almost every night, I think. And then then I could always play the sound bowls for you while we're making the album, or like
Yeah.
I could do yoga breaks for all of us.
I wonder
Yeah.
if you put on headphones with like the ones we sampled, if you could still get into that state of consciousness, or if it's different because you have to be there in person. You know what I mean? I wonder if it
Dude,
translates
right?
over headphones.
We
or
should
not.
figure that out. Like, we should see what the frequency is on those samples, because
Yeah.
if the frequency can somehow simulate being there, like, because it's all about getting your brain in the theta state,
Okay.
and that's all physics, no?
I don't know. Theta state. That's like some sort of close to being asleep type of thing, right?
Yeah, and that's when your mind is really vulnerable to like, and vulnerable in a good way to like suggestion. So like hypnotism works that way. They get
Got
your brain in the theta state, and you're vulnerable to suggestion, and like that kind of helps you like release patterns, or just you know, like it's speaking to your subconscious in a way.
Yeah.
And like I wonder, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
don't-
curious.
Yeah, I don't. That's such a good question.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out. We should find. I mean, we have it. We,
We
might
have
as well,
it.
you know.
Should
try
we put it on SoundCloud and like
Be sick.
ask people if it works?
Yeah. Yeah, just close your eyes and turn the lights off and see if this works.
Yeah.
But that shit blew my mind. I'm a semi-skeptical person when it comes to just anything,
Yeah.
and I felt fucking. You know those head things that like scratch that go down?
Yeah.
I felt like you were doing that like inside of like my fucking soul. That's the only way I can describe it.
This just scrubs
You know what I mean?
out,
It's just like yeah, I don't know what that. It
I
just felt
want-
really good.
I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you- but
well,
if-
I
since
feel
you-
that while I'm playing it.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, that was gonna be my question.
Yeah.
Do you, if someone was to give you a sound bath, would it, you knowing how to do it, would that affect? Would you be like, oh, he's doing it wrong?
Oh
He's-
my god.
You know what I mean? Like, would that affect?
Right.
Your-
Well, it's like seeing if you like went to a rock show and like was like, this drummer fucking sucks, dude. You're like, I can't get
Okay.
into it because
Yeah.
he's not.
I see what you're saying.
But if the drummer's like, you're
So
like,
so you have a
respect.
bar, like they have to be good. They have to be know their shit. Like if I just
Yeah.
went on him and just started doing shit, you'd be like, what the fuck? You probably wouldn't get there, right?
Well, you probably get there pretty quickly because you're a musician, so you're like intuitive, and you're also like you're a drummer first, right? Like drumming.
Yeah,
It's your
drummer,
first
yeah,
instrument.
yeah.
Yeah. So like you have a really good sense of how that bowl's gonna resonate. Like, and you'd probably pick it up like that. Like,
Got it. But say I
Yeah.
didn't. Say I was just some guy you met on the street and
Yeah.
was trying to give you a sound bath. I feel like it probably would. I feel like you wouldn't be able to get to that place. Like you have to know what you're doing, basically.
you do, because there is like a certain buildup and like a certain amount of time that like certain parts are like beneficial to play to get the mind
Yeah.
to unlock. It's all about playing in a way and sequencing the sounds in a way where you build up, and then after the right time, the right amount of warm-up time, you start to really flood the bowl. So you start to flood the sounds, and you flood the lower note mostly.
Got it.
Because that's the one that grounds you the most. And so
Got
what
it.
ends up happening is like you're just flooding your ears with so much stimulus that you're not even thinking anymore.
Yeah.
And all those extra thoughts that we're not even sometimes conscious that we have, like, oh, I have to like repark my car, or like,
Yeah.
oh man, I wonder if like my dog has enough water, or like, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to write the next song before Wyatt comes in. Like, all that
Yeah.
shit, all the background noise, and that includes, you know, like our programming, our cultural, like everything, or baggage, all that stuff stops. Can you imagine? It's like going to sleep. Like,
Yeah, that's how I felt
stops.
when you did that.
Yeah. So when that
Everything
shit
even-
stops,
I didn't want it to end either. When you were doing it, I was like, I don't want to go back.
I
I
don't
don't
want
want my brain to get turned on again. Yeah, no, it does. It really does.
Well,
It
it really
stops.
helps people, because if you're like, okay, so like we're like monkeys, right? Like we're gonna get really good at any pattern we learn. So if we're like on a bad pattern, like on like, you know, like, oh my God, like I want another cigarette. I don't know what I'm going to do, whatever, shit like that. Or like something's bad for me, or just like, you know, like a pattern that doesn't serve you anymore.
Yeah, just habitual, bad habits.
Yeah. And so if
That
you're
could be thoughts too.
like, that could be thoughts too.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
It's like if you're pressing pause on that and you're putting something good in the container instead, like, can you imagine like how much potential that gives someone to catch up with themselves, or like to just like give you like, or it's like with chronic pain, sometimes the case with chronic pain is like, you know, repeated thoughts or repeated experiences. So can you imagine like the chance that gives someone to like stop that pattern for a little while?
I can't imagine how.
Yeah, it's like a new lease on like your spiritual being for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that like the hope is that that kind of gives you a new tool to help redirect to find a pattern that is more helpful rather than harmful. Yeah. And I haven't done this work in so long because I started doing more music and writing this year, and you're making me miss it so much today. Like
it's just interesting. I gotta be like, I would regret not asking you about it because it's so interesting, and it's not, I don't know. It's just like, it's just so fucking interesting to me.
Thank you.
That shit. Like what in general is it your own personal demons and anxiety and stress that led you to doing these things, you know, like sound baths and yoga and all these things?
Yeah.
Got it.
Just like too many underworld journeys, man. I was just like, too many of those. And I was like, I need more tools. I want to be like, my job is to make more things. So if I can find things that help me make more things, I'm doing a good job. And like along the way, if I'm like able to like help some people too, then that means I'm doing something right. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We should put some of those samples on the new record, no?
Oh yeah, definitely. I really want to, maybe I'll do that later, is like export those samples.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I put on headphones, if it does the same thing.
Oh my God, you have to let me know.
I'd be really curious because I felt like being in person was really, I feel like it'd be hard to get that feeling on a recording.
Yeah.
Something about, I don't know what it is.
Well, it's the acoustics too. Like, well, it's like we're 70% water, and those like bowls are made of crystal, and they're just like the frequencies and having them like on your person in your cells. There's just something that's probably impossible to replicate.
I feel like also what did it for me was the fact that in that moment, it was another conscious human being supporting that sound for me. There's some sort of weird like I don't know if it's like I felt connected to you necessarily, but you helped me. It was like you were like guiding some sort of like, I don't know, it's like talking to a therapist in a way.
Yeah.
It'd be different if you're just talking to a wall.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like, what a recording would do, because it would just be like sounds that are coming into your head. But when you're in a room with somebody else that's literally making those sounds.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
That's
maybe
relational.
I'm wrong, but yeah, there's something like soothing that you can't replicate.
Totally.
You know.
Totally.
Yeah, it's cool shit.
Well, it's like you could say the same for live music, right?
Yeah, same, right? I mean, there's something special about being in a room with the artist performing. There's just, you can't capture that. I don't know. For me, live records, you know, don't do it for me.
Right.
Like,
same, dude, same.
You know what I mean? Just don't. I get it, and they are fun to listen to, but it's just different than seeing them live, you know?
Totally.
It's just totally different.
But right now, what you're saying just makes me want to put those samples through fuzz pedals so bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I want to do with the rest of my life right now.
No, we'll do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, fuck yeah. It'll be awesome.
I'm just like, how many pedals can we hook that up to? Shit.
Yeah.
I feel, yeah. But, standing offer, I could play those bowls in the studio for you anytime, dude.
Man, that shit was amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Now I'm like, man, I gotta try yoga. I gotta try this shit now.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, this stuff's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like do you meditate? Are you into meditating?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
It's part of your thing?
Yeah.
How many do you do it, like once a day or in the morning, at night? What's your thing?
I do it ideally. Well, I do like writing meditation Ideally before I talk to another human being in the morning,
Okay.
because that will just help so much. I'm not a morning person.
Got it.
So
Okay,
I do a writing meditation. Like I do writing for an hour every morning, and then
When you mean writing meditation, are you just letting your mind like go off?
Yeah.
Like you're just not even, you're just letting your mind write itself?
Yeah,
thing?
brain dump.
Okay.
Yeah. It's cool. It's really cool. I've been doing it for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I do this other cool meditation called an embodiment meditation every day too. It's about 25 minutes. It's cool.
That sounds intense.
Uh-huh. And it just helps me get out from outer space and live inside my
Yeah,
body.
it tethers you to reality.
Yeah, and I have to do that stuff before I play music. Because sometimes when I play, I'm up there, and
Yeah.
that's not good because I forget that I need to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's super fucking important.
I'm sure you know, because
Yeah.
like I mean, especially with drums, no.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's different for everybody. For me,
Yeah.
Playing, I'll be in outer space in the moment I am playing music with somebody. That tethers me to the moment. There's times I've been having a panic attack and walking on stage, literally being, I can't play, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I'll start playing, and it instantly tethers me to the moment. Like just,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to me, I think that's what music does to me. It just tethers me in general.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take me away. Like for
Yeah.
a lot of people it does, and that's amazing. For me, it's opposite.
Wow.
It's totally, it's like, yeah, I don't know, it just sucks me into the moment.
That's
Like,
the present moment, right?
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
I love that shit. Everybody needs that. God,
Yeah.
everyone needs something like that in their life.
Oh, totally.
You
And
know?
it's the same like you were saying when like I was playing the bowls for you, like that other human. Like it's
Yeah.
almost relational when you're playing with people.
Yeah, it is.
Too.
I feel like it helps the person providing to be in the moment, and it helps the person obviously on the receiving end of it to be more tethered. There's something about you need
Totally.
like duality of personality, or two people is something about like you and I right here is like it tethers some sort of moment. Whereas if I was just talking into this mic on fucking YouTube, I don't think I'd be as I don't know. I wouldn't be as anchored to reality. Yeah, like you need people in your life. Like you need people.
Yeah.
You know?
do.
You do. Even if I'm the most fucking antisocial, cave dwelling guy. I know like I am more tethered to reality, and I feel better when I'm around. Even if I don't have to talk or anything, just being around people.
Yeah. Me
It's
too.
Super important.
Me too. I've had my lone wolf years where like, especially like before making soul songs, super like wrote a lot of soul songs in like super isolation, like some of
Yeah.
those overdubs, super isolation.
Yeah.
And it didn't start getting real until like I brought my bandmates in, and
Crazy how that will
Yeah.
do it, right? Mm-hmm. Just
we don't
having
have
someone,
to. We don't have to be in a vacuum. We don't have to make stuff in a vacuum.
No, I
Yeah.
think there's time and place for it for sure, but there's something just in life in general,
Mm-hmm.
being surrounded by. It's not like, I don't know. It's a weird thing I've been trying to work through because I'm pretty happy being alone for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
but I do tend to get into that outer space thing pretty quickly. Whereas when I'm surrounded, like when I'm here at Lolipop and there's got everyone around, we're working and we're doing shit. It's really hard for me to like get to that outer space mode because there's just realities
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, music does that. The sound bath, and there's a lot of things that could do that. Exercise.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
Sleep,
there's been some days like you were saying about going on stage having a panic attack. There's been some days where I've gone into the studio to rehearse and just been like, I don't know how I'm gonna move my body. Like or like I don't know how I'm gonna be present for this.
Yeah.
But because there were people who were bringing parts of themselves into the space, it just kind of supported
Mm-hmm.
what I was unable to give, and just kind of like we're social creatures at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just I think that's why bands exist.
Right?
There's some weird special thing when groups of people come together and make something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You just can't. There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something beautiful about that.
Yeah. Miles, sent me this article, or no, Miles, when we were making soul songs, he was talking about how when a certain group of people play music together for a certain amount of time, their brain waves start moving in the same patterns.
Wow.
And that's why anytime there's like, I don't know if you've ever like had someone quit your band or like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, stuff like that.
Had all
That's why
sorts of drama
it
and
never, yeah, like even if there's no drama, if there's like someone who leaves the dynamic, it's just like you feel it in your, as a musician, like you feel it in your spirit, you feel it in your heart.
Fuck
because
yeah.
you're like, or like sometimes like I'll hear something a friend of mine has, or a former bandmate of mine has played on someone else's record, and I
You feel it.
I feel it. It's so cool because they're
cool.
a part of you. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like pair bonded in this like
Yeah.
fucking crazy way. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's so cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
fucking incredible.
Woo.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that shit's crazy. I've had similar things with one specific person that I had played music with for so long, and I'll hear something even not knowing it's him, and I'll be like, wow, that seems really familiar. You know, like that feels, I'll be, oh, that was him playing. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's so.
You know what I mean? It's
that's
so
cool.
weird. Yeah, it's crazy. There's just, I don't know. The power of like just connection is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like really
the
cool that
yeah.
we get to do that with music. Like not everyone can play music if they want to, right? But I don't know. It just feels like a special moment. I always say this to you when I'm here. Like I'll be like, I feel so lucky. Like it's a privilege getting to like share music.
Oh, for sure, it's
Yeah.
a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very lucky.
Yeah.
I think though, yeah, I don't think it has to be music. Like I think there's so many ways of connecting with other people that you don't even think about. Just like ordering food and connecting with someone working, even, like, you know what I mean? Or
Oh my God.
connecting with like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like
Yeah.
millions of connections you make all day you don't think about.
Yeah. No,
like
I know.
going
I know,
and
I
getting groceries, you know, and
Yesterday, I had to get my blood drawn, and like I had the most like intimate moment with the woman drawing my blood. Like, I feel like I made like a spiritual connection.
Yeah.
I just started fucking crying.
really.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm
Wow.
sorry, I'm crying. It's just
That's cool though. I
That's-
don't know. I mean, that's
yeah.
just, there's something to be said about that. I feel
Yeah.
like, you know, life is pretty depressing as it is, but if that wasn't a part of it, it would be really, I mean, talk about like no sense of purpose. I mean, if you take human connection out of the equation, it's real life has really no fucking purpose. So I think there's something to be said about that for sure. Are you scared of needles? Like, were you like
No.
flipping out?
It was just
It was just a spiritual thing?
Gothic emo, like
Got it,
just
got it.
like I just don't. I mean, who likes getting their blood?
No, but I
drawn
mean,
to?
some
Like-
people are like, will faint, you know, if you get a needle around them. I didn't know if you're.
No, that wasn't the case. I was just like hypersensitive, and I was just like, oh.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know. My dad's hyper scared of needles. Like,
Yeah?
just won't do it. Will not do it. Like his biggest fear in life is having an IV.
Oh
You know,
shit. Yeah.
Which is crazy for me. I don't give a shit about needles for some reason. I don't know. They don't bother me. But I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I don't know.
Well, now that we're talking about needles, now I want to get a Lollipop Records tattoo.
Oh shit! Join the club.
Yeah, right. You have one, right?
I do. Yeah, me and Iggy have one.
Dude, that's fuck. I want one.
I'm trying to think who else. Tracy Bryant has one. Robert Billy Changer has one. Cameron Allen from Froth has one.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, there's some. I think that's all.
I'm next.
Yeah, do it.
I got this tulips one right here. I'm doing another one right here. Where should? I gotta think where the lollipop one will go. I gotta think about it. Maybe like right here.
There you go. That's where I got mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Iggy has it in the same spot,
Oh.
and I think Robert has his on his arm too. I think everyone has. Oh, Tracy has it on his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might get an ankle one. That might be cool.
And Cameron has it on his arm, but he actually had his say Lollipop Records.
Oh, okay.
Whereas all of ours just say Lollipop. His says Records, which is like, that's really ballsy, man.
Yeah.
That's very fucking, no questions asked. This could be whatever. Lollipop, what's that?
That's
Lollipop Records is like,
Die
dang,
hard. Die hard.
But yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Dude, thanks for having us. This was so fun.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Hopefully this live thing worked, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
People in the world. We had one person talking about the Echo
Oh, cool.
Live Nation. Yeah. Echo's owned by Live Nation.
Yeah.
I guess.
They are now.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget that because nothing's changed there. Right?
Oh,
like
well,
when you
I
go to
haven't.
the Echo, physically, aesthetically, it looks exactly the same.
It still looks the same.
But Live Nation does own it. I forget that.
Yeah, we played there the weekend that got announced.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't notice anything. Yeah, we didn't. Oh, Lilu, we didn't notice anything.
Yeah. It's still the same. I was there.
Yeah.
What was it? Last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Actually, until this person, Alexander Lawrence, until you commented, I had no idea.
Oh, I know Alexander. Hi.
But yeah.
Cool.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, see you at the show. Oh wow! Oh my God, Lilu's up here. Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah.
When is the show?
It.
The 21st, right?
Yeah, December 21st. You're spinning. Are you doing records or
Whatever you want. I got records.
Yeah, whatever you want, man.
Whatever. I know every venue's got like a different thing. Some people do the digital thing.
Right. Well, I'll let.
I can do it either way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lilu just kissing me and the microphone. This is so funny.
So funny.
Cool. See you at the show.
See ya, guys.